Hello, collective. My name is Maxine Simone, and I'm here to share a timeless collective message. This reading will be supported by tools, but I was already picking up the energy of Virgo, granular, and then I also see full moon in Cancer here at the bottom of the deck that says a personal issue reaches resolution. And that combined energy is kind of giving me how you run a household, how you run a system, processes. And I feel that this collective is coming to terms with their own process. And I think I had done a reading, I don't know if I posted it, but I had done a reading earlier about being okay with playing with the process, that certain habits would be changing, your energy levels would be changing. So then your habits and your decisions are changing to allow for you to match that natural rhythm that's trying to come through. I do see balanced spirituality and practicality here. And so this is the full moon in Pisces card, which is alluding to me that there's a need for rest or that just meditative time where you may be creating something or just literally laying in bed. I did get a notification too when I was going to period confirmation. I'm going to turn my thing on do not disturb now. But all of this is a message in the way that I got a notification that said Casper mattress something something, like selling a mattress, but Ghost mattress came through, and it's like you may receive messages when you're taking a nap, when you're sleeping, when you're just laying there and not doing anything. And the amount of output that you were putting, the pressure that you're putting on yourself to put out so much, the output, and the process was not matching your ability to maintain and sustain a certain level of energy or clear headspace for you to even receive what it is that you needed to create. And so there's been this process of playing with the process, and I feel like you're coming to a space where you're figuring out what tools or connections that you may need in order to delegate. And even if you're on your own, if you're doing something all on your own, you are investing in the tools to protect your peace in a certain way, to protect that sacred time that you need to connect. So, protecting to connect, which is a paradox in itself because you're realizing in real time that your cup has to be full. And you may be someone that is very energetically sensitive, or yeah, you just need a lot of time to recalibrate after social situations or even after producing a lot. For instance, now I'm picking up the energy of someone that just finished a big project. And when you're finished with it, your way of celebrating may be relaxing, not going out and celebrating or, being quick to share that news. It's more like that pressure feels relieved and you are now recalibrating to the next project. So this could show up in micro situations like we're talking about like a specific project, or this could be just how you transition through life in general on the macro level. So in the middle of this, I do see expect a powerful change in the reverse, and then communication is key. You may be in the process of setting certain boundaries to kind of protect your peace, your space, your focus, your you're figuring out how to find that rhythm, and in that space you are needing a lot of time to yourself to figure out how this is going to work for you and what actually works. So as you're experimenting, you may be feeling or you may have been feeling turbulent because you know that your focus was being pulled in a certain direction and you're trying to lock in on that, and then having to also navigate setting certain boundaries so that you can protect that very delicate space where you are experimenting with how you feel. And while you're experimenting with how you feel, that could be misinterpreted, or you could just feel really aggravated sometimes when maybe you tried something and it didn't necessarily work. So, not only are you protecting your process and the figuring out of the process, but you're also protecting others from unnecessary conflicts, it feels like, with your focus, because it could stir up, it feels like, drama or misinterpretations, miscommunications. So I think that you are now resisting. What was I saying? You're now resisting, or you were resisting, or feeling that resistance, moving away from that resistance. I did just see the Temperance card and the Eight of Pentacles, so you are very locked in, and I feel like Spirit is approving this and kind of putting you in this bubble so that you can lock in. I think that you may be very sensitive to perception when you're trying new things, and they know this about you. And I think that you are coming to terms with this about yourself as well. So there's kind of this protective layer around you, so that you're not taking on too many opinions. You're not listening to too many people. And now the Chariot card just came out, so another Cancer card. But this is getting you on the right track. I feel that I kind of went off on this whole channel about even if you're by yourself and why, I guess. But they're bringing me back to, even if you're by yourself, you're discovering the tools that you need in order to make things easier. There's a lot about simplifying the path, sticking to a particular path, figuring out how to make that path work with you, with you, with you. I have to repeat that because it's your energy is very unique. And so I do see, though, the Chariot. I cut the deck to the Temperance and the Ten of Pentacles now. So there's like, between that Eight of Pentacles I mentioned before and that Ten of Pentacles is two. And that is the balance that you're trying to find. Balance, spirituality, and practicality. You may be juggling multiple things. You may be trying new things. You may be experimenting with what feels good, what feels too heavy, what doesn't. And once you kind of lock in on what that is for you, I feel like you're on the path with the Chariot card. You are going to feel this cardinal energy. That Cancer energy is cardinal. It is a catalyst. You're going to feel that kick on, and I'm hearing off to the races. So I'm getting full body chills with that. So I kind of feel like you're blind to the bullshit right now, because I see the Two of Swords and the Empress. Or you're blind to the bullshit, but also people cannot see this transformation that is happening. It's very internal, and you're finding your flow. But I think that you're also trusting the process, and you're trusting that this process doesn't need to be seen or witnessed. I think also because you, again, are quite sensitive to being witnessed in your trying, but I think that you're getting comfortable with trying new things. So this is something that's also being integrated. Let's see. So now we have the Ten of Cups, the Ace of Wands, and the Seven of Wands in reverse. I feel so excited about this because, like I said, it's off to the races. You are figuring out what makes you feel good. You are keeping your focus on a particular vision that you have for emotional happiness, like emotional abundance. And like I said, once you find that feeling, it's like an experience that you are going to feel when you're just in flow. I think when you're able to connect with other people as well, this could be like sharing things and it just hits and it connects, and you're like, yes, that's the thing. That is the flow. That is, I need to create a process around this that helps me to produce this in a way that still honors my energy. And be open as well to if that changes, but now you're learning about how you shift and change in process, you know? So we have the Ace of Wands and the Seven of Wands in reverse. It's like this kick that is going to happen, this kick up in your energy, this kick start. I feel like from this place where you may have been defending or have had this pattern of defending your choices, defending yourself while you're in this transition space. And that's why I feel like Spirit is saying that you're in this kind of protective space because they've witnessed and you've seen yourself probably in patterns in your life how your energy is kind of like the wind is taken out from under you when you are trying new things and people are saying things, inserting their opinions or inserting doubt. So they don't want you to be defensive or bracing yourself for something or even defensive around the fact that you may be in this kind of protective bubble at this moment because it's all for a reason. And they're asking you to pay attention to the shifts in your energy because that kick that you are going to experience is the green light, essentially. And so now we have the Ace of Cups and the Two of Pentacles in reverse. This is you figuring out how your masculine and feminine sides interact with one another, how you receive information, creating that space, protecting that space so that you can receive the inspiration, the downloads, the channel, and then being able to take action on that. And you're still in the process of getting it like down packed, like communication between your masculine and feminine is still happening. This almost feels like when you've allowed other people's opinions or doubt or whatever, it feels like the third party energy not showing up in the physical, but more so your masculine and feminine are trying to have a conversation. The feminine is like, hey, I'm feeling this. I'm loving this. I'm wanting this, And then the masculine is trying to align to take action and trust that. But then there's like a third party where somebody else's opinion or you're looking on social media and you see something else. It's like getting really focused on like that internal communication and Xing out all of these other third party energies. 1, 2, 3 on the timer. So now I see the Seven of Swords and the King of Pentacles, and immediately I'm hearing that don't take advice from people that are not in the position that you want to be in, So there's like this, that's what it feels like, that trickster third party energy where it's like someone having an opinion on something that they haven't even grounded, that they haven't even built, that they haven't even tried. How are they going to tell you how to master something when they haven't? King of Pentacles in reverse is like they're in a place of insecurity or inconsistency or, their life doesn't, their garden is not growing. It's scarce over there. So it's like, I feel like this is something about other people talking a big game or trying to show off in some way. But like when you look at their life, when you look at which their life is a reflection of the decisions that they've made. Again, like Virgo energy is like being very discerning because that Virgo energy rules the sixth house. And so the sixth house, I saw this video that's so true. The sixth house is like, this is the energy that you can't ignore. It's your day-to-day routines, it's your habits, it's your decisions, it's how you take care of your body. It's the things that are reflected in your physical reality by the decisions that you make mentally, like that Mercury energy. It's like you creating something through your daily routines, through your daily habits, through your processes. And so when you see this other party, whether that's, people that may be showing off on social media or you're taking advice from someone else that just isn't living the life that you would like to live, when you look at their garden, when you look at their life, that's where you use your discernment, not from a place of judgment, but it's just like kind of removing that. I'm hearing like the kids thing. How do they say? This is an A and B conversation. See your way out of it. Removing C, So now we have the Six of Wands, Justice, and the Five of Swords in reverse. And I'm hearing another line from one of the readers I used to listen to a lot. She would always say, there's no traffic in your lane. This is when you lock in on your lane, that chariot card, full focus, and you just do what you are needing to do. You're the one that has received this vision. You're the one that's getting the guidance. You're the one having that internal conversation with your masculine and feminine, and it's going to lead you to success. So we have the Page of Wands in reverse and Judgment in reverse. I do feel that there is, I'm interpreting this in two ways. There could be fear of judgment from those kind of like inconsistent energies. Kind of like this could show up in survivor's guilt. But I'm also feeling like an agitating, like, what is that sound from? It's like a famous, like a funny TikTok sound. It's like, and when I turn, I hear this agitating sound, blah, blah, blah. It's like from the, it's like an old reality TV show. Um, anyway, it's like when you may feel agitated by people always having something to say, but I feel like that is part of the process. Like you may be finding that people are inserting their opinions a lot more or commenting on things, and spirit is trying to also reveal like that this is kind of a part of it and allowing you to adjust to that, allowing you to get good with blocking things out that don't serve you. In the challenge position, I see the King of Swords. Yes, it's like literally the King of Swords is very no nonsense, very clear minded. And I feel he's in the challenge position now because you're learning how to become quite stoic or not give those energies a reaction in the first place because it does not serve the bigger picture. King of Swords is, I feel, a very high level thinker. They could see very far into the future and use their discernment. And I feel that this is a skill that you are fine tuning because when you're locked in like this and people can feel that you are on a path to your personal success and they have not figured out their own formula, their own processes, it feels like they can gain from even getting your attention. You're giving them attention. It's like an energy leak. And so the King of Swords is asking you to really fine tune this skill where you're locked in, you're focused, you don't really entertain the bullshit. Like I said, you're blind to the bullshit. And also just like protecting your projects, protecting what you're working on, and just kind of like, it just feels like you just don't care about anything else. If it's not feeding you, I can't say that word, but it's not feeding you or that, it's none of your business. And so that's kind of what it feels like as the Ace of Pentacles. You are just so locked in on your own potential, which is very beautiful. And I feel like, yes, the Ten of Pentacles now just came out and it flew out over here to the Ten of Cups. It's like, without a shadow of a doubt that this is what you're supposed to be doing, that you are on your path, and the path may be windy, the path may require more change, but I feel like where you're at right now, it's like building this structure, and I feel like this is something that you always kept coming back to, that you always felt called to. So it's time to really honor that, and by giving it your full attention. This could really, whatever you're doing right now is, I'm hearing your golden ticket. Like this is what you're meant to do. Yes, Nine of Pentacles, okay? Okay, underneath that, we have Three of Swords, Six of Swords, and then the Nine of Pentacles. So there has been, in the King of Wands, interesting. Through this heartache, that you may have just experienced. It feels like you're moving on from that. But I feel like the heartache is deeper than just this recent experience. This feels like the ache of not pouring into yourself appropriately, creating all the times that you have not pursued this in the way that you could have and chose other things, other people, other relationships, other people's advice. It's like the heartache of that is dissipating, and you're alchemizing this and you're moving towards what you always have known that you're meant to do in the first place. And I feel like there's been a process of grieving because those times that you have chosen that kind of, I guess, alternate path or these detours, it was due to a lack of belief in oneself and not really having that clear communication between your masculine and feminine. And so this could have been reflected in a lot of third party situations, like we were explaining, this A, B, C type of thing, where your own internal masculine and feminine have been trying to have a conversation and just haven't been on the same page. Now, I feel like through this recent heartbreak or grief, it wasn't just the grief of the whatever break may have happened, whether it was friend, work situation, significant other. That grief has brought you back home to yourself. And now you are learning how to maintain the home. And that, I mean, it's a full circle moment to the beginning of the reading. Like, you are learning how to, what your own communication style is. You're learning about how you maintain your home, how you keep your home energetically, emotionally clean, how when you walk, into a home, it feels like you. When you come home, it is your place of peace, that type of thing. And it's helping you to lock in on what you really care about. It's like having had a home and it just wasn't feeling like home, you know? Or treating your home like a hotel, Like, how your family, your parents tell you this house ain't a hotel. Can have people coming in and out, in and out. I feel like you have refined a lot of your processes by getting to know yourself on a much deeper level and getting to know how your energy feels and how you communicate with yourself, how spirit communicates with you, how your inner child communicates with you. And well, I feel like that's the next layer. Yet the inner child now is kind of coming online where when a home or a space is not safe, you may find that the child shuts down a lot or that they just don't feel comfortable coming out of their room or, you know, whatever example that you would like to give. But it feels like with the Six of Cups here, the Moon in reverse, and the Six of Pentacles in reverse, it's like the inner child is kind of starting to peek out. And it's like, oh, maybe I'll go in the living room today. Maybe it smells really good out there. Maybe I'll go, I'm just picturing like a kid smelling like cookies or something. Like, oh, maybe I'll go out there today. It's like it feels really good. 2, 3, 4, 5 on the timer. And I feel like this is a process of kind of teaching yourself that it is safe to be seen. It is safe to, and this is just witnessing yourself trying. It's safe to witness yourself trying. And with the 10 of Wands here and the Knight of Cups in reverse, it's like there's been this suppression of your creative expression because the processes hadn't been refined. The home hadn't been very safe to be in. The energetic space wasn't properly boundaried, but now it is. And so now I see the King of Wands and the Empress and the Eight of Wands. Wow. And the Lovers. Again, I'm going to take this as internal, but it's like this masculine energy is coming online now that you have cultivated this like mother archetype where it's not just about feeling your feelings, but it's about creating the environment for the garden to grow and for the home to flourish, for you to flourish within your own temple. And there's this communication that is online now with the Eight of Wands and the Lovers. That sounds so beautiful. I feel like that is the message. And if you're wanting to dive deeper, or if you're just wanting to explore a personal healing session or a reading, all you have to do is check out the link in the description box below. Otherwise, if this resonated and you would like to share it with somebody, please feel free to do so. Like and subscribe to grow the channel. I would so appreciate it. And I can't wait to connect with you again on the next one.